I misspoke last night in my last video. I wanted to correct that today. I'm going to misspeak uh, in my videos. I'll apologize up front with that. I would like to say it's a result of my brain concussion from my fall a few months back. I am still suffering from that a little bit cognitively, but I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I'd like to blame it on old age, and I am a month and a half from 68, and I have felt and seen a decline in the last year, but it's not like I'm 90 years old yet. So I make excuses, but in truth, I just make little mistakes my whole life. I'm not going to hide them from you. I do my videos out in the open, and take me as I am, or whatever. But I will always publish corrections and admit my mistakes and problems. And yesterday, when I was working on the video transmitter on that wing, I just really was concentrating on this end, the flight controller end of this cable. I just wasn't concentrating on the um, video transmitter end as much as I should have. I had a little brain hiccup of the analog audio in to this transmitter being somehow it was going to transmit sound to the flight controller. I don't even know if there's a place to hook up a microphone on any of these flight controllers. There is on video transmitters like this one. My Maytech flight controller, which I've got on top of the rover right here, this 1.2, does have a microphone right here. But I think it also has an audio in if you want to put an external mic on it, and I know it has smart audio. But the one I was using, this one, doesn't. And I should have known it doesn't. I think these are some old, God, look how heavy and stuff they are. These are old, I'd say 6 years or more old, 1.2, 1.3 gigahertz. We use 1258 and 1280 megahertz, which is 1.2 gigahertz. We call it 1.2 or 1.3 gigahertz because that's close by. 1258 and 1280 are the only two channels, frequencies that they let us use inside the United States. Now, the international versions of these video transmitters does go up in the 1300 megahertz range, which would be in the 1.3 gigahertz range. But basically, truthfully, in the United States, we use 1.2. Now, this old video transmitter can be taken out of this big can. I had taken this one over here out, and you can see that can is just, it's composed of a lot of pieces. And this is what's inside of it. Looks much like the one I had recently bought in the past year. And I think basically probably it's the same thing and wired the same and all that. And I should have remembered that it's a straight up analog audio in, so the video transmitter can transmit it to the ground station. Just like the microphone on this one, I think at this point, this Maytech, it's a 1G3 version 2 transmitter. Listens on this microphone and then transmits that data through this antenna to the ground station. I don't know why I was thinking that the white wire was sound that needed to be sent someplace else to be transmitted to the ground. I mean, it was a really, really bad brain hiccup. I just weighed this can on my scale. It weighs 54 grams. This is the kind of weight thing we were fighting 6 and 8 years ago. And if you look up on the screen, why my brain was working incorrectly last night is because right here is where you hook up the VTX video transmitter. This is the video out that goes to the video transmitter to be transmitted to the ground. This is the supply voltage, which can be 9 volts or 12 volts depending on how this solder pad right here is soldered up when you put this together. Actually, I think it can be 12 volts based on also changing this solder pad. If you jumper this solder pad with some solder, I think that becomes 12 volts. I never proved that, but and then ground, and then this is the transmit pin on UART 8, and using these 4 wires, video out of the flight controller, voltage ground, and then smart audio out on this pin to the video transmitter. That's how you get your smart audio. And seeing I'm green to flying airplanes, I really wanted that smart audio so I could change the power level during my first flights. And then later, when I have some experience, it's probably more important for me to have the sound than smart audio. There are other ways to do that power rather than, you can even do it on a switch. So smart audio isn't as important to me lately with some changes in video transmitters, but this is where my brain was just staying. I had 4 wires on the flight controller end, and I kept transferring that to the video transmitter end of the cable incorrectly. And this is the top to my rover, which I had just used a Rubbermaid container on top. This is like a 2-watt 5.8. There's another video transmitter underneath here. I think that's a 5.8. I think it's an 800 milliwatt. This is a Maytech 1.2 here. I was using this on the rover, you may have seen, to play with these video transmitters the past year because I had really not gotten to that point in my life until the last year, and I was using the EZ-UHF receiver on the rover instead of a Crossfire, and I had exhausted everything I could do here at the house with these transmitters in my experiments, and was at the point of going out to the flying fields and furthering those experiments, but I had not actually done that yet. I still have not actually done that yet. I still must do that with the ground rover on these video transmitters before I fly. That's better than taking off in a flight and 50 feet out losing video, or shorting something out because it's not all right and crashing everything. So I've got quite a bit of ways to go on that. But I just wanted to quickly put out and post a correction video of my misstatements last night in my last video on the video transmitter inclusion on the Skyhunter. I won't make excuses. I'll just tell you straight up. I made a mistake. I will make some more in the future. And again, I won't hide them from you. I'll make them right in front of you. I'll correct my mistakes right in front of you, because you will make some of these mistakes too. Now you can keep them private without having to tell the world. But I shouldn't, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much.